Hi there. A very good afternoon to all of you, and thanks for joining us today on Triangle Toronto. And we'll be talking about business during pandemic, and obviously we have a very distinguished guest with us. And may I have the honor, pleasure, and privilege to welcome on the screen Mr. Alex Barrotti, CEO and founder, TouchBistro. Hi, Alex. Good afternoon.
Hi there. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for being, excuse me, such a wonderful friend of Triumph Toronto and the platform itself. Because we had Alex, back in July when the whole fiasco started around the world, and obviously till then, one of the hardest hit industry is restaurants, along with few other. And Alex has seen it right from the front, how it all moved on, how it has been impacted and all. And we will throw some light on that. And we're so delighted to have you, Alex, once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, Alex, hitting the deck right away, as I was saying that, people say we have seen the figures, we have seen all the news and all. I mean, during the past year that the industry has been so hardly hit. People have lost jobs, the restaurants have shut off. But you have seen it right from the front. So how deep is the cut, from your point of view?
So it's not as bad. It hasn't been as bad as we had feared. I can tell you that when the pandemic started and in March, restaurants were forced to close, we were expecting, we feared a catastrophic following year. And so we thought, what's the worst situation that could happen to us? And so we feared that, we'd lose half of our restaurants, and we feared that we would not get, any new sales, that our sales would be zero. And instead, it's turned out to be not that bad at all. We moved quickly to pivot to. First of all, in April, we launched online ordering, free for 3 months to our customers, and just to get them online, to help them pivot to an online solution, because right away we noticed like that was the only form of income that they could navigate with. And so a lot of restaurants took the bull by the horns and did that, and so they weren't hit as hard as those that didn't. And some of the cases that we see where restaurants are shut down is because they just didn't respond fast enough. They didn't make the move, which happened in retail years ago. Like if we've all bought finished product goods, fixed retail goods online, but not every restaurant was offering their menus online. All of us, I think, at this point in time, had at some point ordered from, one of the many different solutions out there, or different food ordering marketplaces, but not every venue was online. And so instead, what we're noticing is first of all, we didn't lose half our clients. We lost maybe 10% of our clients, which was okay. Not great, but certainly not good for the venue. But and then we continued to add new restaurants throughout the year, which was also very encouraging. And we still are adding new restaurants. But the difference is that now, when we add a new restaurant as part of the mix, they are almost all definitely taking either our online ordering solution or another online ordering solution, because they know they need it in order to to stay afloat.
Yeah, and that gives me a little recall of another discussion that I was having with some other restaurant owner who was saying that yes, businesses have gone out of their way to do things, and some business, obviously, a lot of restaurants have closed down, shut down, right? But that also, every cloud has a silver lining, right? So when the pandemic is over, as he was speaking, so that there could be a whole rush and boom in the business as well, from a different perspective. I mean, looking at it from a different context, that people could not really get out. The business was not as usual. So there lies an opportunity as well for you and the whole industry, right? When the post thing happens, or the post pandemic regime really comes into place.
Sure. I mean, post pandemic, first of all, the people that are hardest hit are the in venue dining restaurants, because a lot of the restaurants that have always been takeaway service fared better than the in venue dining. And post pandemic, we all can't wait to go back to in venue dining. That's certainly true. But there may be, you still may want to order out from those venues, right? So I don't think none of that is going to, it's not going to go away. It's just the percentages will change. Like I've talked to venues personally that, for example, we just had Valentine's Day. So they did just as well as they did last year on Valentine's, but it was all takeaway.
Yeah.
Right? But they did the same amount. Yeah. So because I'm glad that people are still want to treat their significant other on Valentine's during this time, but there will certainly be people who will rather go out for Valentine's or any event or birthdays or any kind of special occasion. I always say, look at society. We like to celebrate special occasions by going to restaurants, right? Whether it's birthday, anniversary, Valentine's, you name it, right? And again, a lot of venues have pivoted. They've also started doing embracing reservation tools because, for example, Oakville opened up last week here in Toronto, in the Toronto area, and restaurants filled up right away with reservations, right? So they needed to have a reservation system in place to handle the rush and the demand that certainly everyone is going to be experiencing once venues open up again, right? Yeah. As well as a CRM tool where you can contact your customers and let them know when you're opening again and what specials you have in order to incent them to come back. All of that is going to become more important even before the
Yeah,
pandemic.
and getting back to what you were saying initially, that the businesses that were hardly hit, a lot of them did not respond, right? Did not respond accurately and did not respond in the first place. So I just want you to throw a light on that factor, that you certainly also had to do some remodeling.
Yes.
As far as business is concerned, some readjustment, maybe transformation. So just tell us about that. What adjustment, what remodeling, what new thoughts that you really put in place to adjust to the whole new scenario.
So, like I said, the first thing that we did was really embrace an online ordering solution for our customers and offer to them for free just to get them through this pandemic. Because keeping our customers in business was the most important thing for us. We gave license relief to restaurants that needed it. So if somebody called and said, I'm having a difficult time, and we would give them a break on their license. Or we also launched a gift card program for our customers, and we also bought a loyalty company in order for our restaurants, again, to be able to reach out to their customers and offer them promos or incentives to come back to the venue. So all of that has definitely helped keep the venues in business during this time.
So do you think it is the immaturity or lack of understanding of the businesses that they did not respond quickly or as fast as they could have?
No, I don't think that's the way I would clarify it. I think it's, we all do what we do best, and restaurateurs are not necessarily technologists. Mm-hmm. They certainly do something I can't do. I'm not very good. I'm not a chef by any means. And they produce delicious things that we all look forward to eating. But they're focused on their business, and so we're focused on their business from a different lens. Is how do we help them through this pandemic? How do we help them maintain their sales? Manage their costs during this time. We've had increased people asking us about inventory, how to manage inventory better, because one of the things that is overlooked is that when these orders get lifted, restaurants go out and buy all the ingredients and supplies to reopen, and then if they get closed down again, they have to worry about spoilage, because all this food is now sitting there that is going to go bad unless it's consumed. So there are challenges during this time, and we're just helping them navigate them as best as we can.
Yeah, that's great. And you have done phenomenal last year as far as your business is concerned, the fundings and all things that we have got to know through all the news sources and all. So, from that perspective, a lot of restaurants, a lot of startups have come into this hospitality industry, right? Even during this pandemic, because they had planned earlier, so they didn't know that this thing will happen. So they launched. Some of them launched. Some of them are at the verge of launching it. At this phase of post-pandemic, but I'm sure things are not going to be the same as they would have expected, right? A lot of planning, a lot of execution stuff have to be kind of readjusted, right? But then again, from a very practical point of view, since you are a veteran, you've been successful. So what suggestion, or what cautions rather, you would be, what bells would be ringing for them, because it's not going to be easy for sure. It's no matter how many adjustments that you do, things are unforeseen till now, right? We don't yet know the third wave is coming or not, despite the fact that, numbers are reducing, vaccination taking place. So what do you think you would be suggesting them to be a little more cautious about while, getting into this, while they roll out?
Well, we have spoken to restaurants that have delayed their opening. Opening a restaurant is not a fly-by-night idea that you come up with, today and you open in a week. We've been involved with the restaurants where they're looking for a point of sale a year before they open. We get all kinds. We get people who call us on a Friday and say, I'm opening Monday, I need a point of sale. And we get people that call us and say, I'm opening a year from now, I'm looking for a point of sale. So obviously being prepared is the better scenario there. But you have to look at, again, you have to relook at how customers' behavior is today. Even when you go to a restaurant, let's say they reopen tomorrow, are we going to be comfortable holding a menu? I've been to restaurants that have disposable menus now, where it's just a piece of paper, and once you're done with it, it's thrown away. We've certainly been to restaurants that have ordering from your phone with a QR code, or at least look at the menu from a QR code, even if they're not ordering, because that brings a whole different mindset. If you're going to allow the customer to order, do they pay at the table? Do they pay after the meal is consumed? You have to think through the scenarios that are possible. And they may not be appropriate for every restaurant type. So when the pandemic, quote unquote, goes away or subsides, big question of the day is, will we be wearing masks? A restaurant that I went to, every waiter wore masks, which was great. And my wife and I were 20 feet away from the next table. So we certainly had more than enough social distancing in place where I felt safe being there. We'll slowly, jurisdictions will slowly ease those restrictions as the vaccine rolls out. And I just think some of those habits are here to stay. Even if you give me a menu, I might want to look at it on my phone to see pictures of the food, right?
Absolutely. And yeah, true. Things are not going to be the same. There would be adjustments, and we need to be. Someone has to be. Taking it as it comes.
Yes.
Since we cannot just predict things, but from your context, your specific business point of view, there are a lot of other companies are also coming in, right? Because it's an opportunity, and
sure,
that's where they horizon has, broadened and all, and innovation is taking place as well. As much as you are doing, they're also coming up with innovative innovations. Like,
Yeah.
what would you be your take on this?
Well, it's I say this all the time, and it's true what I'm about to say. It's not a winner take all market. It's not where there's only one Facebook or there's only one Instagram. There's lots of different solutions. It's like the car industry. There's lots of different cars, and everybody has a different preference as to what car they drive, based on budget, features. I could name a dozen things, right? And so software is very similar. You buy it for its features, its price, its look and feel, its functionality, and not everyone has to use the same software in every restaurant. And so what is happening though is that there is a big change happening from the legacy systems that were started, 80s or even earlier, and a move to modern cloud-based, tablet-based solutions. That is definitely happening. And in fact, when we see restaurants that have gone under, quite often they are taken over by a new owner. And the first thing we hear is they call us, they say, yes, there's an older system in here and I don't want to reopen with this older system. I want to open with a modern solution. And so, there are a few of us that are selling, current modern design solutions with open APIs, cloud-based reporting and access, and then all on tablets that you can take to the table and take the order if you like.
Right. And since you have been successful, I mean, no matter who comes in or what, you have become a veteran to an extent, right? So, in many industries, we find that, while some businesses, take the leap and, take the leading position, they tend to kind of, extend their hand to the newcomers. Supporting them through whatever format. It could be training, it could be suggestions, it could be whatever. So do you do that, or you have any plan of doing this, helping the newcomers coming in? Because, they're going to come in a much more difficult situation than probably you or some other had, right? When you start up your business, because challenges are more now. Any plan on that?
Do you mean, are we offering assistance to the restaurant?
Exactly, absolutely.
Yeah, we have a whole customer success department that we hold their hand from the minute the minute the sale. We always say, like, just because you land the sale doesn't mean the journey's over. Like, that's just when the customer journey begins. Yeah. And so we have an entire CS department that does everything from install to training to support. We give them suggestions on how they should configure the point of sale. We help them get online. We guide them through the whole process, or they can do it themselves. We have tons of online resources available if they want to do it themselves.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's wonderful to see that you're envisioning an end-to-end solution, right from the journey where it starts till the whole process. That's great, because many of the businesses don't look at it that way. As you mentioned, they get it wrong as to where the journey actually begins, right? So they miss the train in many cases. That's great with TouchBistro, and I'm sure this is one of the key reasons that you've become so successful as a business. Great. And I've got just last question. I'm sure that you're busy, but I have so much to know and learn from you, and of course the viewers as well. From your point of view, being one of the hardest hit businesses industry, where do you see the skyline moving towards? I mean, from now on towards probably, quote unquote, the end of pandemic or the new absolutely new normal. How's the skyline of the business is probably going to look like?
So, I think, we were all patiently getting through this market. We certainly see organic new restaurant openings a little bit slower because if they can delay, they will. But we're not the only industry to be facing challenges right now. I mean, I could name the 5 completely separate industries that are hit harder than us, actually. So one is the movie industry. No one has gone to a theater in a year probably. The hotel industry. the car rental industry, the aviation industry. They're all being hit just as hard, if not harder, because airline travel, I read somewhere, is down 84%.
Yeah.
Right. And so restaurant sales are not down 84% because, again, a lot of restaurants have pivoted to online ordering. Even those venues that were primarily dine-in service. I've visited restaurants that all the tables were put away, but they had essentially created an assembly line for their takeout business. Where orders came in, they went to the kitchen, they prepped them, they had them all on the table as people came in.
Yeah.
They had an ingenious system where they would wait outside and they put up signs that said, like, these are the orders we're working on and these are the orders that are ready, and then people would only enter the venue to pick up the orders that were completed. I thought it was genius. So they're making do of the situation. But I mean, we're not alone in this facing this challenge, and a lot of other industries, I think, are actually worse than the hospitality industry.
Yeah, true. And time is the only person, kind of who can tell what's coming up. So, the last question, it's not a question, rather, I mean, out of, it's a question that I want to know, since the story that I have seen through, known from you about TouchBistro is quite compelling, and it has done really good, and you have led it right from the front and, done terrifically well. So now what's next? Your vision, where is it heading towards in the coming days, TouchBistro in the coming days, if you may want to headline that?
Well, I don't know about the coming days, but certainly in the coming year, we're focused on our restaurants need our help now more than ever, and we need to be more than a POS company. We need to be a full solution company for the hospitality industry. So we'll probably look to releasing more products and more features and all focused on helping our customers through this difficult time. We have lots of capital in the bank from the fundraisings that we had completed, so we're not going away. We're still going to be here for a long time, but more importantly, we want our customers to be here for a long time.
Yeah, that's great. And I would also love to term that, you are not a POS company, right? You are a facilitator, that facilitates both the ends, the consumers and the service providers. I mean, you are quite an integral part of the entire ecosystem, rather, if I may term it that way. So great, lovely talking to you, Alex, and your thoughts and all. Right from July till today's, it's almost March. We together have been into 2 episodes, but we have seen it, and I have seen it. You have seen it right from the front, and I have learned it. Our viewers have learned it right from you as to how the whole thing transitioned. And maybe in a couple of months or weeks, we will get in touch with you once again and have a different discussion altogether. We'll have a discussion more on the innovation side as to how people are really innovating or, remodeling the whole thing. And of course, organizations like you, TouchBistro, how it's adding more value to the entire ecosystem as it has been for so many years. Thank you so much, Alex, for being with me, for being with Triangle Toronto. Of course, we'll get back to you once again to be with us and the viewers to enlighten us more with your thoughts, the success, the vision, and overall TouchBistro as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Thanks, Alex.